Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome back to the channel. This is Cardiff City World. Gives you Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Some days, like today and yesterday, you even get a couple of pieces in one day. The more we grow, the more the channel will do. The more content you will get, the more we will talk about Cardiff City and beyond. This week, we've so much content from the Cardiff City third phone-in today to the Luton Town preview tomorrow. We've something special coming out on Wednesday, and as well as, of course, Thursday night this week, the Flower Hour, and then Friday, we'll have the weekend preview as well. Support what we do by subscribing, liking, commenting on the videos, sharing, spread the word. Please tell anyone you know, Cardiff City World, Cardiff City fans particularly, of course. It's obviously free to subscribe. Helps us out a great deal. Leave a comment on the videos. Also helps us out with the algorithm. If you would like to go that extra mile, for the price of a coffee per month, you can become a member for a host of rewards, discounts, exclusive content, and of course, early access to tickets to all of Ace Podcast Nation Presents events, including the popular City Legends events. The last of 2024 should be announced very soon, and it's a belter. But anyway, enough with the promo. Let's dig into today's subject, which is player ratings versus Norwich City this weekend. Overall, City were very good. Norwich probably should have scored earlier in the game, particularly in the first half. But in this league, you're always going to have moments and periods where you need to dig in a bit. You need that bit of luck. And most of all, defensively, you've got to be resolute and dogged in your defensive actions and defend as a team from front to back, something which I thought Cardiff did exceptionally well on Saturday. Omar Rhys then gambled in the last sort of 30 minutes or so, pushed not only for the equaliser, but also that injury time winner for a very, I thought, a deserved win for Cardiff. And Omar Rhys deserved it for the bravery he showed. But on to the player ratings. First and foremost, the captain, Jack Alnwick, who's just got better and better this season. The man who should never have been dropped from the number one spot. He's great with his feet, he commands his area, collects crosses, takes the presser off, and of course his shot stopping again was exquisite. Had no chance with the goal, kept us in the game during the first half especially. He's a really huge part of the Bluebirds' defensive improvements since Omar Rhys and of course Darren Pearce helping out, took charge of things. For me, we've got to get him tied. He's got to get his contract signed out. He's the first of the players who are out of contract. He's the first one I'd be sorting. Give the man a new contract and let's build for the future, because he's an exceptional championship goalkeeper and a solid 8.5 out of 10 for Jack Alnwick today. And moving on next, Andy Rinamota. Slightly eye-opening selection at right back for the suspended Perry NG. Don't think we all speculated on how Omar Rhys would deal with NG's absence. And I think it's fair to say that I don't think many people predicted that Rinamota would be in there. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't slightly concerned when that lineup came out, just simply because he was up against the best and the most informed winger in the league, who also happens to be the top scorer. But Rinamota deserves so much credit. He put in an almost faultless performance, winning 6 out of 8 duels, which is just exceptional when you consider the opponent. But the fact he was also out of position, he barely played 90 minutes in a very long time, was tidy on the ball, and with the help of Siopis and Tanner, he completely pocketed Sands to the point where he actually switched to number 10 in the second half. And he gets a real good 8 out of 10 for me. And it'll be really unfortunate to lose his place in the starting 11 on Wednesday evening, most likely to the talented and back in form Perry NG. But Rinamota was excellent and, deserves all the plaudits. Real good. Dimitri Gutas. One of my favourite things about Gutas at the moment is he's proven me wrong. I was very critical of him towards the end of last season. Or not, I was critical of him towards the end of last season. I thought he was making some rash decisions. And then the start of this season, I was very critical of him. But after an unconvincing end to the season and then a horror start to this season, I felt like it was only a matter of time before Darlin, Fish, Chambers, would all keep him out. But he has stepped up. I thought versus Norwich, defensively, which is his prime job, he was absolutely exceptional, winning the ball back a massive 9 times, multiple blocks, interceptions throughout, commanding the box, backing up his goalkeeper and his teammates in those real important moments where it was like a save or a rebound, putting his body on the line. The only reason he kind of loses a mark for me is the concern with his passing. It's really improved generally this season, and I don't want to see any of those bad previous habits coming back, because I did think he was a little bit sloppy with his passing, but look, he's there to defend, and defend he did so well. And you could also put that the issues with the passing, maybe that's down to, if you look at it in a whole thing, the 6 games since Rhys has taken over, it's been very good. Norwich, a very good team, very well drilled, very good in the press, and maybe it's just down to that. So Gutas gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Callum Chambers. Callum Chambers is a fascinating one, because questions were being asked probably 3, 4 games, 5 games ago, really being asked to Callum Chambers, and rightly so. He was looking a bit ropey, but he's responded with phenomenal attitude. He showed real, true grit, but also quality over the last 3 games. Really settled into the team. Him and Gutas rightly keeping out the impressive Jesper Darland out of that starting lineup at the moment. Chambers was good on the ball, numerous blocks and interceptions, tackles, the lot. Defensively solid, constantly talking to his teammates. It's his reading and his anticipation of the game which has really impressed me recently. In particular versus Norwich, he just was where he was needed at all times. Really impressive performance. And I just think when we needed him to be there for a block or an interception or whatever it may be, he was there. I like the way he communicates with his teammates, and him and Gutas are building a really good centre-back pairing at the moment, and a very good 7.5 out of 10 for Callum Chambers. Next up, the match winner, Callum DOWDA. Another Bluebird playing out of position, but he truly adds another dimension to the Bluebirds playing style and the system by giving that width. The link-up play with El Ghazi continues to impress, and it's only going to get better the more they play together. You've got Joe Bagan working in the wings and Jamaru Collins as well. Joe Bagan will be disappointed that he's not getting a game because he's done no wrong, but O'Dowda's really stepped it up in recent weeks. He's a massive asset, but his defending has also improved massively. He's helped by the security, I think, on Saturday of having Cyprus in midfield, giving him the freedom to push up when we've got possession, knowing that Cyprus will cover. He always looks a threat, and someone who will become more and more direct as his confidence grows. After an injury hit season last year, that real Callum DOWDA is back. Absolutely superb for the whole game. Superb. And he got the winner. 9 out of 10 for Callum DOWDA. Man of the match performance. Next up, the scapegoat, as I like to call him, or should we say Cyprus, taken a lot of criticism this season. And look, some of it is rightly so and warranted. I think some of it is a bit bizarre, but look, Saturday, I thought he was pretty excellent. Since coming back into the side under Omar Rhys, actually, I think he's been a big improvement, and he's got better with each game. And he's back to doing what he does best, breaking up play, pressing, tackling, not giving the opponents any time to settle, not giving the ball away with trying to play the Hollywood pass, keeping it simple. I think it was a 93% passing accuracy or something on Saturday. Multiple tackles, interceptions, all of the dirty work in that midfield. Really helped Ritamoto with Sands at times getting across. Always looking to cover Callum DOWDA when he was overlapping. Would have been up there for man of the match if it wasn't for the fact that Callum DOWDA and Ritamoto was so good. I'm going to give Cyprus a 7.5 out of 10. He would have been an 8, but I felt he sometimes slowed the play when we had the opportunity to counter, particularly from transitions. But it is nitpicking a bit. I thought it was a really solid performance from Cyprus, and much more like it. That defensive midfielder role will be vital in certain games and certain scenarios. I think we've all enjoyed David Turnbull and Alex Robertson in midfield, but there will be games where we need Cyprus and his skill set. And I thought it was a solid performance from Sio. Next up, the man whose revival continues, David Turnbull. Another classy performance from the Scotsman. Looked after the ball beautifully. Always looks to progress the play forward. Rarely gives it away. Looking more and more dangerous in those attacking areas around the box as well. And he's getting closer and closer to scoring with these long-range shots. He's absolutely nailed a few in the last couple of games. And the keepers have just, saved it, or he's gone close. It won't be long before they're nestling in the net. I've got no doubt. Super composed, deservedly keeping his place in the midfield. And that was another a 7 out of 10. Real good. Ruben Colwell. Very interesting to play from Ruben. On the first watch, I felt he hadn't been as effective as recent games, but he was still very good. Norwich targeted him specifically and tried to double up on him. They tried to crowd him out whenever possible, but he showed some fight. I thought he looked really composed. He looked after the ball. His link-up play with Tanner is real nice. It's just a delight at times. I thought it was exceptional again. I thought there were some good signs with his interchanging and rotating and interchanges with Willock as well. He played a huge part in getting City's winner, creating chances at the end of the game as well. And it's interesting because I said I didn't think he was as effective against Norwich, but actually he created quite a lot in the latter parts of the game, and he was a big part of us getting back into it. He's really come of age since January. Probably needs a rest at the moment, but most definitely deserves to be in the Wales squad. And a 7 out of 10 for Ruben Colwell. Super Ollie Tanner, another one who continues to impress. He's benefiting from 90 minutes. He's benefiting from regular starts. He's benefiting from a manager who believes in him, same as Ruben Colwell. Omar Rhys has given him the confidence, the belief, which makes him so dangerous when he's direct. And I love that he's trying to stay high and wide. He keeps our width while isolating the fullback to go one-on-one with him, get in behind. He's a huge benefit that he's getting those 90 minutes, as I mentioned. Also, like him and Ruben have become so dangerous in the final part of the game, the final third of the game, that last sort of 20, 30 minutes, things really open up. And those two on the pitch is vital. I do think him and Ruben may need a rest, but probably now's not the time. But we need to get them a bit of a rest coming into the Christmas period to make sure they're sharp. Also, he did a stellar job helping Ritamoto with Sands defensively. Very, very good. He looks happy, and he looks like a man who is enjoying his football. And another 7 out of 10 for Ollie Tanner. Mr. El Ghazi. I just want this guy to be fit, match fit. He's such a talented footballer. He's too good for the Championship at his best, but it does feel like he's just not quite there yet at the moment with regards match fitness, sharpness, just his fitness overall. Understandable, I get it, and it's good. We just got to keep getting an hour in those legs. He is getting there, and he's such a clever player, creating space for others. His first touch is exquisite, but he has got to work harder to stay on side. It's infuriating. He needs better than that, and he's got to work harder to get back on side. I loved his interchanging with Willock. His interplay with Colwell was excellent, and the space that he creates for Callum DOWDA to attack is just perfect. We've got a real nice balance across that sort of front three behind the striker. Not his best game, El Ghazi, but he's still working towards that match fitness, so he just gets an okay 6 out of 10. Decent though. Chris Willock played like a bit of a weird one, like false nine through the middle sort of role, interchanging with El Ghazi and moving around. I thought, again, showed glimpses in recent weeks to why people are excited by his signing, why his teammates have been raving about him, and why they're so impressed with him in training. Clearly got all the ability in the world. He's getting there. I think he's got a bit of confidence from the goal the other week. I think actually he's more suited to playing as a number 10 or through the middle as like a false 9 than out wide. But I do think he can come good. And I do think, when El Ghazi needs a rest, he'll be a good option off the left. As I say, massive bags of ability. His confidence grows. I'm assuming, I would think, that his consistency will grow too. He worked hard, offered much more than the previous alternatives to Robinson in that central forward role. So, yeah, 6.5 out of 10 for me. And then we move on to the subs. Callum Robinson, the game changer. Such a clever player, but more importantly, like, he is vital to the way Cardiff City plays, vital to the system under Omar Rhys. He can drop in, he can run behind, he links play with Colwell, and that is becoming more and more impressive. And as the season goes on, I expect it to almost be like telepathic, like they'll know where each other is. But you can see it getting more and more clever and better. You know, start of the season, maybe there was like a couple of misplaced passes where Ruben would pass it and Robinson's run would go slightly somewhere else, you know, just like a little breakdown. But now Ruben's finding him. He's making the runs really dangerous, the link up at everything. And I honestly think Callum Robinson, the form he's in, if we can keep him fit, he'll bag 15 plus goals this season, easy. But we're going to have to manage this knock that he's got at the moment because he's so vital to the team. There's not a like-for-like replacement at the moment unless you're going to dip into Reindorf, who's, you know, very young and exposed player, but there's not someone who can go like-for-like because Isaac Davis is out. Hopefully, Callum Robinson fit for Luton on Wednesday, but a 7.5 out of 10, and even that, like, is based. It's not an 8, but like it could easily be an 8, but it was more just excellent. Jesper Darland is he's having to be super patient for his opportunity due to the form of Chambers and Gutas. He came in, obviously got injured after looking really impressive, and on Saturday he came on for 10 minutes or so at the end, and he was pretty much faultless. Defensively, he's so good. He reads the game well, really clever, and he's just so good on the ball. His passing is what makes him, like, he's that cut above, capable of breaking the lines with those passes. It's not just like side to side backwards. He will take 2 or 3 players out with a press or the opposition team with one pass. Only 10 minutes, so he gets a 6 out of 10. But Jesper Darland he's starting to cook a bit. I think he's looking good. Gonna have to wait for his opportunity, but when it comes, I believe he'll be a massive asset to Cardiff City. Ian Ashford, another who's kind of biding his time, waiting for the opportunity, coming back from an injury as well. In my honest opinion, this season, I think he's going to be the best option to rotate with Tanner and maintain the system and the way we're playing, rather than a Mate or someone like that. Like, I think Ashford really stretches the game with his pace, and I thought he did that when he came on Saturday. He stretched the game with his pace. He presses tirelessly. He works hard to protect the fullback. He's young and he's keen. It's great to see him back fit because I think he can be a real asset, probably off the bench at the moment. But as he grows, I expect him to be a good player for us. It's definitely a good option off the bench at a young age. And I just think it adds more options for the manager from an offensive point of view on the bench. And he's a bit more like for like with Tanner, because Tanner will need a rest. Let's give Ashford a go. Didn't do anything wrong. Solid without being incredible. But a decent return to the side, I thought. A good 6.5 out of 10 for him. And then finally, to wrap us up, let's talk about the man of the hour, the manager, Omar Rhys. Still not confirmed that he's going to be taking the job till the end of the season. I think we all expect it. He's taken City on a 6-game unbeaten run. Defensively, looked solid. The team looked together. It's amazing to see. He's completely changed the mood around the club, the team, the fans, everything. And of course, he's changed the playing style. We are pressing, we're attacking, and most of all, we're enjoyable to watch again. The thing I like the most about Omar Rhys is I feel like he's learning from any little mistakes or errors he's kind of making along the way. He's learning from them. And Saturday he gambled and he got his rewards. That's what I love. I love to see people who take a risk and he got his rewards. These last minute winners, last minute equalizers, they're special moments for everyone. Fans, the team, the coaching staff, the club. They're special moments. But also, that galvanizes the group. It galvanizes and it breeds that togetherness even more. So it's exciting times, I've got to be honest. Tactically, very impressive also. Little tweaks here and there, but Rinamoto at right back was an inspired choice up against a real good winger. Chris Willock was decent in that sort of false 9, number 10, whatever you want to call it. But I was happy that he went with Willock or El Ghazi sort of interchanging than going with Mate or Kanga, and the whole way of playing changes. Siopis looks back to his best, but more so he looks happy. Omar Rhys has clearly got his arm around him, had a chat with him, made him really, he just looks happy to be playing again, which was a contrast to when Bullock first of all left. So Omar Rhys gets a big old 8.5 out of 10 today, as the big decisions were spot on from the boss man, from start to finish, all the way from the lineup to the bench to the goals, and even the decision not to risk Randolph. Very good, very impressive. Guys, there is a lot of content this week, starting with the phone in, the previews, there's loads of it. Please do subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, spread the word, and we'll just keep churning out the content, baby. But most of all, in the comments, let me know what you think of my ratings. Let me know your ratings. But most of all, do you want me to be harsher? Do you think I'm being fair to everyone, or do you want to see me be a bit harsher? Do you want to see those 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s? Do you want to see them being earned a bit more? And it's up to you. I'm happy to go with what the general consensus is, or if you think I'm being fair, then happy days. But appreciate your time. I'll be back later in the week. The boys will be back throughout the week. Make sure you check out the phone in from this evening, and I will see you in a bit.